Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PubChat Last Orders. Barman can't be here, unfortunately. He's still working in the pub, so you get me. Haha. So, before I introduce our guest of the evening, let me introduce you to the man behind the plan. Fiddling all around with those buttons. Tatty, how are you today?
All right, troops, all right. Aye, Keelah, I'm doing Dan Doodly. Still at large, they still haven't caught me, and the whiskey is still flowing. Hey, that's a win in my book, man. Oh, but other than that, I just been plodding away, working away, twiddling my knobs and pressing my buttons, flicking my switches, and don't forget to give that wee thumbs up there a wee lick on your way out, folks.
A quick question, Teddy. Did Barman actually manage to get a new supply in this week, seeing as you had the whole stash last week?
Funny you should mention that. There was a suspicious package that was delivered the other day that he tried to hide from me. I caught the delivery van going away, and I seen where he stashed it, and yeah, we've got a new one. Yee.
Do me a favour, save the Hennessy for me.
All yours, mate. All yours.
We can definitely share. And that guy there is Colon, who is a very big Hennessy drinker. No, I'm joking. Colon, how are you?
I'm a big bitter drinker and like a bit of Hennessy now and again, but JD's the usual tipple. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm just reeling this week from the archiving job I'm having to do at the moment, and I'm starting to hate Mr. Henry R. Heil. He was the guy who invented the staple. Dude, I really do hate you.
You have expressed before how much you hate staplers.
Yes, and especially when you have to take the damn things out.
Even worse.
Yeah. A staple conversation around our colon, so as it is.
Yeah, we can have a staple diet, but not with these bloody magazines.
Ah, you love it though. And Gary IOW has joined us. How are you, Gary?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Just sat here enjoying a beer, as usual. Why not?
Hey, Gary.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir. Yes, we can. I think.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Excellent. Yeah, no, just sat here. I was just playing a video game that I haven't played for a while, and I happened to come to a natural pause in it exactly at the right time to join in here.
Woohoo.
What are you playing at the moment, dude?
EVE Online.
Oh, I want to play that so bad.
I was streaming it on my Discord, actually. I was just out grinding, doing some mining. But yeah, it's a great game. I've been playing it for 8 years. Yeah, easily 8 years.
You ever get on Space Engineers doing that one?
No, I've not done that. I've not really played with Elite Dangerous either. But a couple of my mates do.
I'll get you on Space Engineers. We can go out mining together.
Oh, yes, go on, and that'd be excellent.
And we'll definitely be talking about games because the last little while has been full of games in and around our community on YouTube. But before that, we're going to go to the lady who is always watching the chat, Aimee Hogan. How are you, my love?
I'm doing great, hon. Thank you. I'm all excited. We've got some good shows coming up. We've got some great guests tonight. We've got some, for both shows. So I'm really excited. Thank you.
Is Matthew there?
He's somewhere. He's floating around. If he hears the super chat, he'll come running.
I know. And our guest for this evening, Slim Living Cyborg, welcome back. We have a lot to talk about, my friend.
Yes, we do. How's everyone doing?
Good. Good to have you back.
Yes. Can I do my little intro?
Of course.
In case any of you don't know who I am Slim the Living Cyborg, modified being tattooed from forehead to between my toes. Yes, even the inside of my ear is tattooed. I have silicone glow-in-the-dark implants, 2 microchips, 2 LEDs, and a magnet implant as well. I am a living 3D piece of artwork.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had a discussion there a few weeks ago with you about some of your implants, and you're back to talk about the more medical side and updates of what you've done, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah, so since we last talked, I got
So before we get into that, there's been a few little updates in the community. Mr. Sensible just released a video before we went live. Do you want to cover that?
I'll have to catch it quickly. I'll let you do it, Keelah. Go for it. Oh dear. 9:15. Oh, he always catches me at 9:15. What the hell happened?
Oh dear. Right.
I really don't know. I'm missed on this one. So let's move on.
Okay, well, apparently, according to the video, Mage went up. Mage was achieved, and he is going to be releasing a video in the next few days, or next Friday, I think. I was having a laugh with him in the comments because he says, this Friday is tomorrow. But I think it's a little bit too soon to expect it.
Okay, so yeah, he was saying to me a couple of days ago that he would may have to delay the launch, but obviously he's talked to Q and they decided it was okay to go, and I didn't know he'd actually got it down, so that's good news. That's really good news, and yep, all the footage is on the way.
So the question is, did you enter the competition after? Because he did say it was okay for you to enter.
When did he say that?
In the comments.
Oh crap. Oh, no. Damn. I had all the answers as well.
Well, all but one. What height it would peak at.
Okay,
because that was a guessing game.
Yeah, but I could calculate it with the maths factors that go with it and work it out to around about 39,750.
Me plus math equals no, by the way, if anyone doesn't realize.
I'm fairly good at math, but you put pound signs in front of it and I get the answer wrong every time.
So, Slim, what have you been up to since the last pub chat?
So, 2 weeks ago, I believe, is when I got my magnet implant in the end of my finger. We were discussing what that does the last time, so I'll just really quick go over it. Once it's healed, I will be able to feel electrical fields coming off of electrical devices. Right now, I can just get it to tingle when I stick it next to something that is magnetic, and I can get it to pick up small metal objects right now. So, because I got it, because I got it next to the bone.
Is awesome.
Yeah.
You wanted to talk about the more medical side of things.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I know we did run out of time the last time, and everyone was really engaged with what you had to say.
Yeah, Slim, I asked you last time about actually implanting of these devices into you. So something like your RFID chip, because a lot of the weirdo community think that it can be put in with vaccines.
Yes. So one of the major hiccups in their argument for this happening is microchips have not become small enough to fit in the hypodermic needle tip that one would receive when getting a vaccine. The needle to get a vaccine is like a 21 gauge, a very high number gauge. The injector that injected the microchips in me were probably a 12 gauge to a 10 gauge needle. The other thing that I want to bring up is when you get a vaccine, it is injected into the muscle. So they take the needle and they push it straight into the muscle, and then they plunge the plunger. Is that how everyone out in the audience has gotten their vaccine?
Well, it's how I used to get vaccines. Yeah.
So if you were to inject a microchip into the body, into the muscle, it would be so deep into the muscle, you would not be able to get a signal from it. So that's definitely one proof that you're not being injected with a microchip.
And of course, they would be far more uncomfortable than they are anyway, wouldn't they? Vaccines, if they were injecting microchips into you, it wouldn't be a very pleasant experience.
Yeah, it wouldn't be sore for 2 days. It would be sore for 2 weeks because your body would have to heal around it. Unlike a liquid just absorbing into the body. So how a microchip, how we implant microchips in the body right now, it has to be placed under the skin, but on top of the muscle layer and on top of the fat layer, so that it is close. What was that?
No, I'm listening intently. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and the reason for this is because you want it to be as close to the surface as possible so that you can get the cleanest response to it. You know, when you take a reader and put it next to it, you want to read it instantly. You don't want to wait for it. So the closer to the top of the skin that the microchip LED or implant is, the easier that the reader can read it. We talked about this last time. They're passive microchips. So they are turned off and there's no battery in them until a reader comes close to them. And the magnetic electrical field is what turns it on long enough for it to send out information for the reader to capture the information.
And of course, it's also where it gets its energy from to power it, from the
Yes.
close proximity to the magnetic field.
Yeah, so there's... Keep going.
Sorry, by induction, of course.
Yeah, so instead of there being a battery inside of me, I just have a wire coil wrapped around, I don't remember exactly what, but it's the metal coil that grabs the magnetic field, and then it will bring itself to life or turn itself on until that reader or responder gets far enough away from it. So talking about that, you can't, to the best of my knowledge, there were companies that were trying to do this, and I have not found it. To the best of my knowledge, no one has successfully implanted a GPS locator inside of a human body that can be tracked at all times.
Question, Slim. Are you going to try?
Yes. It's, so I go through a company called Dangerous Things. This gentleman, he makes all of these inside of his garage in a clean room. So if he comes up with something that he believes is safe enough, and other people, I've seen other people put it in their body and it didn't reject or it was usable, I don't see a reason why I wouldn't try anything like that. My next implant that I will get next week is a temperature sensor monitor, and it will be implanted in my armpit, and I will be able to take a pet ID reader, and I can put it to my armpit, and it will tell me my temperature.
Cool.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Wow.
Does this cost much money?
Each one of my microchips was about $200 each.
Uh-huh.
They all come with their own injector, so they come inside of a hypodermic needle that is huge. Again, you can't if you ever saw a doctor walk in with the injectors, and I'm going to be making videos on this very soon. I just got everything together to start producing videos again. If you ever saw a doctor walk in with this huge of an injector, you would either run out of the room screaming or you would pass out because of how large it was.
And why is it that large? Because here's the thing, I was on a farm for 7 years and we would microchip the goats, and now I know it's a completely different situation, but the needle we used, well, the vet used, because we weren't legally allowed to microchip the goats. It had to be done by a vet. It wasn't actually that big. It was just like a little clicker. It was cool.
Yeah. So that the only information that is contained inside of those is just an ID number.
Yeah.
So the capacity for its memory is very, very small. I have a microchip in my body that has 2 gigabytes of information.
Blimey.
So that means that memory holder, the thing that holds the memory has to be a little bit bigger to fit the information inside of it. So again, if you want something that is very basic and does nothing besides hold a 12-digit code, it can be very, very small.
So what info do you have on that? And I'm guessing that you've probably got ample spare capacity for extra information. So typically what would you have stored in that memory?
So on my left hand, I have an LED, which is a field detector, and it will let us know if the NFC reader is working. So I can be anywhere, outside, anywhere, and I can test somebody's NFC reader to make sure it works.
Cool.
Once by the LED blinking, the LED will blink in a certain pattern with the different megahertz. So there's low frequency and high frequency readers, and it will blink differently depending on how many something hertz. I don't remember off the top of my head. The wave pattern is coming off of it. So once that happens, then you turn your cell phone or the reader over to my microchip, and the microchip will send you directly to my website.
Fantastic.
Wow. There's an interesting question there in the chat from Tusk. He asks, can you ask if any of the people who perform his mods can administer anesthesia, or is it all done raw?
I love this question. Thanks, Tusk, for asking this, because it's a great thing to bring up for sure. So body modifiers in the Americas are not anesthesiologists, and they are not doctors. So there is local anesthetics, rubs that are legal, ointments that are legal nowadays in the states that you can use. I do not take any anesthetics, anything to get my body modifications. I feel like I should experience the full pain. Also, not just because I want to pretend I'm hardcore, but I also want to inform people that plan on getting modifications. This is how bad it hurts. This is what it kind of feels like. This is how the body reacts to it. This is how long it takes to heal. So my body modifiers do not, they use local or topical ointments that are legal in the States for certain body modifications, but no injections of them.
Cool. Because that actually really does help when you're able to tell people this is how much it's going to hurt. When I got my tattoos, someone who was used to getting tattoos was like, well, think about it as if you're, because I had at the time a cat, and he said, think of it as the cat scratching you over and over and over again. And when I was actually getting my tattoos, because some of it is on the hip bone, it really hurt just over the bone. Otherwise, it didn't actually hurt, because all I could think was, well, it's like the cat scratches. It hurts for like a second, and then you get used to it.
Yeah.
So it really helped actually having him say, this is what it's like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've just got Slim, just a quickie. Would you saying that the numbing cream that you can nowadays get for tattooing, that's illegal in the States for a lot of things?
it used to be, and in certain states, I believe it still is.
Oh, good
Not
grief.
not for doctors or anesthesiologists to use it, but for tattooists and body piercers to use it
Yikes.
because they didn't get trained. But again, I do believe, at least in Colorado where I live, the ointments and creams are now legal for them to use because people offer them to me all the time, but I don't use them. I have a whole bag of anesthetic ointments and numbing creams that I don't touch because I'd just rather, I mean, if I was going to get my throat tattooed again, I would use the numbing cream again, or numbing cream, because
Yeah, certain areas for sure. Now, I'll admit I've got a few tattoos as well, ex-military. Well, no, you can guess, right?
Yeah.
So it's a case of I never used any creams at the time, but when somebody says it's out there, it's available, use it. But what the hell? No, it's kind of interesting that you can't. You've decided not to use it, which is cool. But that some states actually think it's illegal still. Wow.
The other thing about using some of those ointments is you don't know what it's doing to the healing of the tattoo. It could be rejecting the ink because you're putting something that's causing your nerve endings to not respond correctly. So I've also heard people say that it rejects their piercings or rejects their tattoos, or it made the healing process not as smooth as normal. So that's another reason why I don't need to add anything new or different to the process that I've been going through for the last 15 years.
And you're used to these huge needles these days, so you're not running out the room. I think a lot of people might still be.
One of my world records is I pierced my cheeks with 6 guitar strings live on stage.
What the fuck?
I'm not scared of large needles anymore.
Wait, explain this to me. Explain this to me. You pierced your cheek.
This is play a tune on it afterward.
Oh, I played Freebird afterward.
Oh, good God.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Fucking tastic. Tell me you've got video of that, man.
Oh, it's there's a video of it on YouTube. Hopefully the next time I come on, we can share some videos, or I'll have links.
Sweet.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And hopefully by then I'll have my own videos on my channel talking about this. So
cool.
What I did, the fakirs in India used to take skewers and skewer through their cheeks and through their tongue.
I've seen that.
So I was trying to think of a modern way to bring that to stage. I was playing my guitar one day and the strings broke, and the string that broke hit me in the face and cut my face open. And I said, if it can do that, I wonder if I can pierce myself with it. So then I went and did research. I found that they make steel guitar strings.
Yeah.
They were high enough grade steel that it wouldn't poison my body to put them inside and take out. So I went to the guitar store. I bought the largest unwound steel guitar strings. I believe I always want to say G string because it's funnier to say the G string.
Yes.
But I think it's a D or something like that.
It's an E. It's an E, definitely an E.
E, okay.
If you put a G string on your face, dude, you're doing it wrong.
That's yeah, exactly. I got it backwards.
Well, G strings do split your cheeks.
What? Yeah. You don't want. Yeah. That's hazardous. So I used to put on club nights in Fort Collins, and one night I bought a whole handful of them at the store, and I cleaned them off, and I cut the ends so they were sharp, and I got on stage, and I just put 6 of them, starting from the front of my cheeks to the back. I had learned the cheek piercing act before, so I knew how to stay away from the saliva glands so that I didn't puncture them. But I put them all the way through and pulled it out, and I hold them taut, and I pretend to strum them and play Freebird.
You think you're not squeamish until you hear someone describing piercing his face with guitar strings.
Oh, I even get squeamish when I think about it or when I watch my videos.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Quick question from the chat again, Slim.
Yes.
Tusk is asking, have you ever tattooed or modded anybody else?
Oh, another awesome question. Thank you, Tusk, for adding so much to the conversation. Yes, I'm actually a body piercer tattoo artist. I have 3 machines that I tattoo with. I have a whole setup. I know how to pierce almost every place on the human body, and I pierced myself almost everywhere on myself. I'm a horrible tattoo artist, so I only do it when people want to pay me a lot of money just to have me personally tattoo them. I don't work at a shop. When I tour, I don't really do it. But if somebody wants to pay me to have something personal on them, I will tattoo them. I want to leave it to the actual professionals that can do really good tattoos. But that was part of my learning the craft about body modification, was teaching myself or being taught how to tattoo and understanding how the ink goes under the skin and why it stays there, and how to not cause trauma to the body by sticking the needle into the muscle or further than it needed to be. Kind of the same with piercing. Is I wanted to understand what it was like to feel what it's like to be pierced in those places. So when I did it to somebody else, they were, I was as nice about it as possible, or I had the same compassion about what they're feeling.
So understanding the actual way of doing it helps you control your own feelings towards having it done. I totally get that.
There's Jessica's asking me about if I've had scarification. Yes, I have a cauterizing pin that I use to practice scarification on myself. That was given to
Slim scarification.
Oh, so there's multiple ways of scarification. I have a cauterizing pin, so I do it with a heated up pin. The pin has a heated tip, and I will mark my skin with it to cause scars to bubble up, rise up to cause a pattern in the skin.
Okay, I remember doing something similar years ago when I was at school with a pin scratching off. I did a spider on my forearm, and then every time it scabbed over, knocked the scab off and keep on doing it. And for about 10 years, I had this, it wouldn't tan, but it was just a spider on my forearm that wouldn't tan, just stayed out white. It's gone now. Time ago.
So there's also scalpeling that you can do for scarification, where you take a scalpel and you cut out designs. There's also solar branding, and that's where they take a crystal ball and use the sunlight to burn the skin to make patterns.
Ouch.
Yeah, I haven't tried the solar branding yet, but I've cut out my skin to make patterns, and then I've also used a cauterizing pin to make patterns. And I got the cauterizing pin from the doctor who did my vasectomy.
Wow.
After he was done doing my vasectomy, he's like, I got to throw this pin away. Do you want it? And he just gave me the cauterizing pin.
Re-sterilize it, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's going to be used on me. So I'm like, yeah, and it still works to this day. And that was a couple years ago, but I don't do it very much.
Yeah, all you have to do is re-sterilize it and it's fine.
Yeah.
There are a few questions coming in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bastard is asking, are you sober and not high when you're performing?
That is
You'd have
another.
to plan all that out. You would need a clear head to plan all that out and do it properly, am I right?
Yes, definitely, and that's a great question. I smoke a lot of weed, so I'm always stoned. In my in my professional writer, I have 2 amber beers that the venue usually provides me. So I usually drink one before I go on stage, and I drink the other while I'm on stage. To me, I consider that sober. I don't do hard drugs on stage. I've been sober off of hard drugs for 15 years. So I mainly just stay sober. I have gone on stage drunk, and I have hurt myself really bad in the past. So nowadays, I only do it sober because I have almost killed myself on stage, not paying enough attention.
Crikey.
So, Ken
Keena-
O'Brien.
Keelah.
Yeah, sorry. Keno Brown is asking, have you ever been in the hospital for infections due to this?
Another great question. My mother was a nurse, and she taught me how to scrape out gravel out of my raspberries when I fell skateboarding. She taught me how to suture myself, how to clean myself before and after I do these things. So I actually have never been to the hospital for any reason of me doing my sideshow stuff, and especially for infections. I always stay on top of infections if I start having a problem. All of my gear is cleaned before I go on stage, and as soon as I get off stage, it's cleaned as well. So I try to be as clean as possible when I do these things so that I can avoid infections or anything like that. The thing that I do that is the scariest for infections is I let people staple money to me. So I have an industrial stapler, and I let people take dollar bills and put it to my body, and I let them actually staple the money to my body.
Colin, do you want to comment on this? Because we all know how much you love staplers.
Staples. Henry.
Yeah.
Henry. One question.
Perfect.
Removed afterward? Because I'm a bit handy with a staple remover these days, dude. And but I promise you, it's going to hurt.
I'll definitely very carefully.
No, I promise you it's gonna hurt. I really do hate staples that badly these days.
I mean, when people are stapling stuff, is it just a particular spot you will allow it, or is there? Well, there's obviously places you won't allow it, but would you prefer it on somewhere there's no bone, or?
So I have a list. It matters on how much money you have. $1 is my arms. 5 is my chest. 10 is my stomach. 20 is my cheeks, either my face or my butt. And if we get if we get a collective amount of $100 on the stage as a collection, I staple my nude junk live on stage.
And every lad listening to your voice just fucking heard that and just felt it. God. Oh, that is painful. And I don't even have.
I'm going to meet off for a wee bit here, folks.
I've done it over 50 times live on stage at different times.
Holy hell.
That's commitment. That's fun.
Well,
my hat is doffed.
I don't think fun's quite the right word, but
wow. That is fucking impressive, mate. I'm telling you right now, that is impressive. My hat is doffed in your direction, Squire.
I'm going to imagine that it's more painful than, or it's less painful than getting waxed down there.
Yeah. What's really funny is it's $100 for about 5 seconds of pain.
Exactly.
It only hurts when it goes in. I don't feel it while it's in, and taking it out takes a millisecond. So, I mean, it's not fun at all. My ex-girlfriend used to hate it when I would do it because you can't have sex for 5 days. But you know,
there's a few there's a few more questions.
Yeah.
How far are you willing to go with your modifications, and have you considered amputation or other elective surgeries?
Yes, of course. Yeah, another great question. Yes. Right now, I'm just looking to monitor body systems, and in a second, I'll start talking about some of the things in the medical community that I'm hoping to help with these. It won't be in most likely our lifetime that fully functional arms or legs are going to be available. I may cut off a toe and have a fake toe put on if they're trying to develop the technology in that aspect. Maybe one finger or something. It won't be until you can actually like play tennis with that limb that I would take off an arm or a leg. A lot of this is done for my stage show. I say I'm a time traveler from the year 4020. I stole a time machine from the government. Don't tell Trump because he might deport me. Oh, wait, where's he going to deport me to? Oh, is he going to fix my time machine? Oh, that would be awesome. So a lot of this is for my stage show, even though I am doing this to help progress health in society. So I'm willing to go as far as the technology is willing to be cohesive. I actually waited 10 years before I put a microchip in my body knowing about these. So I wait until technology has been used by civilians for a while. I can talk to the people that have had it implanted or put into them or taken the medicine or had these medical procedures done to them. So there's a lot of research that I go into doing before I think about any of these processes.
Hey, Slim, quick question for you. You're not that guy on YouTube that brought back the videos of New Los Angeles and the flying cars, were you?
Damn it, you caught me. Son of a... I was trying to be more...
Oh, God, what a video.
That guy is... That kid is hilarious because he's a teenager, I think. And if he thought that he was going to get over on anybody... I mean, obviously, he doesn't know any better. He's a teenager. So that was just great. I laughed the whole video because pretending to be from the future, I research that every once in a while. Who's saying they're from the future? And I get to see all the nut job videos of, I'm from the future and microchips and people are going to, it's like, man, you're just, exactly.
Christian Ganelius is saying, so can we raise $100 in super chats? You could, but he's not doing it live on air. No, not only would we be demonetized, but this whole stream would be taken down. So let's not do that right now. There was another one.
There is video on YouTube of it because I do cover it, but we won't do it here. So if you want to look on my channel, you will find videos, and on my Facebook, there are photos of it being done by audience members.
I just got a quick thought pattern here. Tatty, you're not monetized yet.
Yeah, Tatty.
Not monetized yet. That is correct.
Yeah.
You did promise a live stream there, Tatty. There you go.
Yeah, we got the live stream. Slim.
Yes.
Tatty.
There we go.
Staplers.
Well, if we're going to do it, we're going to need a staple expert, mate.
Oh, it might be you needing the stapling.
Yes.
Oh, you're going to do it wearing a fucking 100 quid then, I'll tell you straight off.
If we can do the stapler, Tatty will have his mankini on. It's all right.
Yes.
There was a question in the chat. I'm trying to find it, but I can't. There was a question in the chat asking, have you ever had an implant be rejected?
Another good question.
And what's the process if that happens?
Definitely. There's the only implants that I've had reject are a thing called subdermal implants. and it is where they take there's a small piece of metal that has, it looks like a disc, and in the middle of the disc there is a female post. So what you do is you cut a hole in the skin and you place the feet under the skin above the muscle, and the female stud sticks out of the skin, and then you can screw in a top. I had 15 of those implanted in my face. I had them next to my tear ducts. I had them under my eyes, next to my lips, in places that you can't normally put a regular piercing. All of those besides 2 have rejected. 3 of them I went in and had cut out of my face by my body piercer. 1 of them I pulled out live on stage during a burlesque set. So girls were dancing burlesque while I was holding my face closed while I was bleeding everywhere.
Oh, jeez.
That one I cut out of my face myself. I went backstage and pulled out a scalpel, and I went to the bathroom and scalpeled that out of my own face at a venue. Other ones that rejected, you could just pull them out because the skin was so healed around it that you were able to just pretty much pluck it from your face or pluck it from the body. Nothing else. None of my other implants have been rejected. If they were to reject, I'd have to go in and have them surgically cut out of the body.
Ow.
Luckily, none of my major implants.
Well, if they're done properly, yeah.
I was just going to say, Slim, just please don't end up like Parrot Man. That guy is just weird. Or what's it? Or the other guy, the tiger guy.
I know.
I think he died.
Yeah, he unfortunately he did. He went to get surgery in South America, I believe, and the procedure went wrong, and it went infectious, and he unfortunately did pass. He was a very awesome person. He did it for. He said that his spirit animal was a tiger, and he wanted to show that to the world. So
I've seen the video. Oh man, what the hell?
The gentleman who helped me get further into the, what was that?
No, I think it was just feedback from someone else. Go on.
Okay.
Continue.
The gentleman who helped me get into the sideshow industry and was taught a bunch of things. He is the Enigma. Does anybody know who that is?
No.
Okay, so he has blue puzzle pieces tattooed from head to toe.
Yes, I could get my mute off there. Was he in one of the X-Files episodes?
Yes, 202. He is in that episode. He is wearing a loincloth in a river, and he takes a bite out of a fish. So he's tattooed from head to toe. His ears are scalpeled. He has huge scalpelings taken out of his ears. He used to have silicone horn implants in his head, but he has taken those out because they became so uncomfortable for him. So when I look at myself, I don't think I'm as modified as a handful of these other people. How far I go, that just depends on how much modification becomes available for us. I'm waiting to tattoo the whites of my eyes once I find somebody I really trust, and it's been on the market a little bit longer.
Yeah, that'd be cool. What kind of tattoos would you like in your?
And so, in the whites of your eyes, all you can. I have a friend who has the rainbow across his eyes. So he has red, orange, yellow, green. Oh, sorry, red, orange, yellow in one eye, and then green, blue, purple in the other eye, stripes in the whites of his eyes.
And that doesn't affect his
Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. That's
Does.
another reason. Yeah. So what happens is because you're putting ink in that layer, you're actually causing the eyeballs to swell, and you can't see your peripheral anymore because it's blocking it. So
Wow.
people do lose vision from getting this done, and that's another reason why I'm waiting. And I want to find somebody who knows how to put just a specific amount of ink into
That
each
it won't
place,
affect your sight.
or at least the least amount as possible. Because I have come to the understanding that it's most likely going to change my eyesight in some way, shape, or form. When you get a body modification, you got to remember that you're changing your whole being by doing this. So if you think that it's not going to change everything about you by implanting something in you, then you need to think again about it, because everybody has this ideal that it's going to look perfect or it's going to be perfect, and it's never 100% the way that you thought it was going to be.
Cool. Well, someone has already noticed in the chat, Graham Price has already said, here comes the world's most foul-mouthed monkey. Hello, Jutmonk.
How the fucking hell would you call me a foul-mouthed fucking monkey? I mean, fuck's sake. What do you think I do? Fucking shout my mouth off and swear like an absolute wanker or something? I tell you what, listening to eyeball tattooing, I'll do it for you, mate.
Yes.
I'm good at it, trust me. I've never done it before, but if I have enough to drink, I certainly am not afraid to try.
We would definitely get a world record for that. A monkey tattooing a cyborg's eyeball. That would definitely be in the world.
That would be fucking unique, wouldn't it? I mean, nobody else would ever have been tattooed by a drunk monkey, especially being a cyborg.
Exactly.
I mean, surely being a cyborg, you don't need to be tattooed. You just get a fucking marker pen.
Yeah, permanent marker.
Can I ask you one
Get a Sharpie,
question?
you'll be all right.
Go on.
Slim, have you had your tongue split?
Yes, my tongue is bifurcated.
Holy crap. You'll do anything. My God.
So
yeah, he's even going to let a monkey tattoo his eyes, so he must be fucking mental.
So you want to know the great thing?
You'll be fine.
You want to know the great thing about having your tongue bifurcated?
I'm a bit worried now. Go on.
You can make out with yourself.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, now that Jutmonk is in, I don't know if you've seen Jutmonk, but the other night, PhD Tony went up against this guy called Bart. What's his last name?
Bart K.
Bart K. So Bart K came in and started talking about Connolly and Connolly bullshitting about pseudoscience in relation to climate change. But towards the end of after dumpster fire number 3, they had a conversation about vaccines, and it turned out he's anti-vax while saying that he's not anti-vax. So obviously FTFE called him out, but he's now crying on Facebook. He's made like 2 videos, and his latest one is FTFE's Vicky Pollard is still ranting, and he's trying to say, having released that video, that FTFE is cyberbullying him. What do you think?
I think he's a prick. And I don't mean FTFE. The other geezer is a prick. I mean, come on, get a grip, for goodness sake.
Yeah. I would say one thing,
Do you know what cyberbullying is? Go on, sorry, sir.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I would say one thing. FTFE's got a little bit of a problem.
My pussy's all wet.
I didn't catch that. Could you play that again?
What? You mean, yeah, just to reiterate.
My pussy's all wet.
One more time.
My pussy's all wet.
Do you know, for a moment there, I actually had to look through the meats to see if we had FTFE on the fucking meat with us. I was like, is FTFE here? God, I'm going to give him some shit, but he ain't, so.
I have actually sent that to FTFE as well, because he said it on Team Skeptics' Lorenz Law debate late on, about 2 hours 21 minutes, if anybody wants to check it out. It was just so funny, I had to grab it. One more time.
My pussy's all wet.
Shut up, FTFE, or you'll get more than a wet pussy.
You got a problem with cats, haven't you?
No, I ain't got a problem with cats. I just got a problem with people pretending to be cats.
Oh. Well, I mean, conspiracy cats. He doesn't really pretend, does he?
Yeah, he does do. He does.
He doesn't actually say he is a cat. It's cat.
Oh no, but he does. He calls himself, because you see, you're talking to a monkey. You see, you lot seem to fucking forget, don't you? You're talking to a monkey, and we take things literally. If someone's going to call themselves a cat, then as far as I'm concerned, they're either a cat or they're a lying, cheating bastard. So I've told him he's a lying, cheating bastard, and to come clean. I love the guy. He's awesome. But
You can't
you
argue
know,
that.
you don't have to keep lying.
Go on,
You
Gary.
know.
Argue that.
No, I think you're right. But he is a cool cat, though, dude. You've got to.
Oh,
admit
he's a super cool cat. You know, Conspiracy Cats is actually my favorite creator in this genre for sure. When he puts a video out, that him and Simon Dan, they're the only ones that I would absolutely watch straight away. So,
He's
brilliant.
my favourite debater. He's probably the best debater in our community. Is Conspiracy Cats that he?
Oh, Conspiracy Cats, yeah, he's awesome, absolutely awesome. Yeah.
Did you see he had a debate last week against, I think it was last week. The weeks are starting to merge together for me. Against, what was his name, Broomies or something?
Oh yeah, Broomy.
Broomies, and then like a day or two later, Sleeping Warrior was out saying he lost to Broomy. He lost to Broomy. No, he didn't. He really didn't. And in fact, I will give it to Creaky, because Creaky at one stage really just shut him down beautifully, and he put him on how far up the dome was, and he couldn't tell him, because the dome was fictional.
But not only that, I mean, but which part of the dome?
Yeah. What is it made of? I don't know. Well, okay, show us a picture of it. We don't have it. Why don't you? You've had enough time. You've had as much time as we have.
Yeah.
And
we have
beautifully.
I mean, we have a picture of the fucking globe, for goodness sake. Why can't you have a picture of this so-called dome? Then we can start shouting CGI. But you don't even give us anything to shout CGI at. All you do is shout CGI at our real photographs, and then don't give us any photographs to counter that we can also go, that's CGI, mate. That's not a real dome.
Right.
They're just useless fucks.
And they think the model's a diorama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love the fact that they every time something is brought out in terms of the globe model, or if there's an illustration or something, it's like, oh look, cartoons. Well, what the fuck is your model made of?
And
if you can call it a model.
Hold us to such
it's made of plasticine.
The hypocrisy runs so deep with them, it's just laughable.
Yeah, there was somebody like a week ago that was drawing pictures, with a pencil on a piece of paper, trying to say he's proving the flat Earth. It's like, can't you even just get on a computer and use PowerPoint or something? Come on. I mean, how are we going to believe?
Don't go too much with PowerPoint, too. That's Queenie's territory.
Yeah. We love PowerPoint.
Yeah. Anybody? Oh, yeah. Mr. Sensible, did you know that his Queenie video last week has actually gone over 7,000 views, and it went over 3,000 in one day?
Nice.
Awesome.
That is wicked.
Absolutely ridiculed the guy, and deservedly so, because of what he was trying to do again. Yeah.
Well,
on the debunking side, I just want to say one thing. I popped in Gem Pandas earlier on today.
Ugh, why?
And Spud Gun was there. If anybody doesn't know who Spud Gun is, that's Mr. Chemo.
It's got fuck all to do with tatties.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
Just to make a point, I completely destroyed the git. Thank you very much. Have fun, Spud. This is on record. This is me saying it. You're destroyed. Go away.
Yeah, that's it now. It's said. It's on YouTube for fucking ever. You can never take it back.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, Graham Price, oi fucking oi, back to you, pal.
Very cool, dude.
Just one quick thing before we we'll give Jutmonk a little bit more time. We'll run for an extra few minutes. But there is something that if you're not in our Discord, please go into our Discord, because I have a not a challenge, but a request to make of the community for someone else in the community. And please go to our Discord. It is in our Discord. I'll put it back up there tonight, but I am asking for help in this. So I'm not going to go into it any further here. But if you do want to help, get onto our Discord and have a look at that. The other thing is Ranty today. He had a little bit more than a rant, didn't he? Did anyone else see this?
Yeah, he had a rant. He had more than a rant. He had a ranty.
He had a ranty. Basically, he was calling out Professor Phil Bell. Professor Phil Bell said, he sees the curve of the Earth from where he works, and Ranty
sees the what? Sorry.
He sees the curve of the Earth from where he works, the control room from where he works. And Ranty was demanding video or photo of inside where he works.
Right.
To prove the globe. And Professor Bell said, not only is that calling it like unprofessional, completely unprofessional, but I could risk my job and I could risk incarceration because of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, Ranty, it's not fucking hard to find curvature. There's so many things that demonstrate it, so many simple observations that, a child can make that demonstrates curvature, that if you can't figure it out for yourself, you're as dumb as fuck.
Go outside and climb a mountain. Go outside and look at the ocean. I mean, there's ways that you can see it.
Exactly. I mean, watch a boat go over the fucking curve. Watch the sunset. The fact that we have a fucking horizon, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't know 100%, but I'm pretty sure that if the Earth was flat, which I'll add it fucking well isn't, we wouldn't have a horizon.
And you're
surely it would just go on forever, wouldn't it?
Yep. And it would fade away into a misty distance.
Yeah.
If the Earth was flat and stationary, why do I have to hold onto the grass when I get drunk to not fall off?
Well, Mike71 in the chat has a very, very good point. Ranty has taken video of curvature himself many, many times.
Exactly.
He's proven it.
And I've actually used Ranty to debunk a load of other flat earthers myself in one of my videos. This fucking, like, when they say that, look, I can show you. Yeah, well, I mean, the most famous one, and most of you have probably seen, good old Nathan Oakley's book, in a table tennis hall that disappears because it's clearly in a room that's lower. That you know the story. People know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And I found quite a few other videos of people trying to prove that yes, things that are flat disappear from the bottom up, but they clearly don't. And then I got good old Ranty to prove them all wrong. Do the experiment properly and show that if it's a flat surface, things really don't just disappear from the bottom up for no reason, unless there's curvature or some kind of obstruction,
Exactly.
Just bring it back to Cat Earth. He proved that Nathan Oakley knows it's a globe. So, Bob, he knows it's a globe. And, John, Huey himself, he knows it's a globe. Yeah, I've got the evidence. One day I'll share it.
Oakley knows it's a globe as well.
Yeah, he does.
They're doing it for money.
He's just one of those lying, cheating scumbags. I mean, I've always said this. There's two types of globe denial. There's Well, I mean, there's literally, I suppose you could call them flat earthers because they're not denying the globe. They're just so fucking dumb. They just believe it's flat. And then you've got the globe denying fucktards that are lying, cheating scumbags that literally do it just to take advantage of the actual idiots that do think the earth's flat.
Exactly. But I just thought it was
I'd have
funny
probably
that-
made more money if I'd have done an Oakley, wouldn't I? If I'd have just gone along and just ranted at you lot, going, fucking Krafty Keelah, you dumb as fuck idiot. You ain't got a clue about the planet you're fucking standing on. It's obviously flat. You know, there's no fucking movement. I can't feel it wobbling and gyrating and spinning around and jumping around and flying through Earth and flying through space at billions and trillions and quadrillions of miles an hour because they really don't understand anything, do they? You know, I might have been monetized by now if I'd have pretended to be a globe denying fucktard.
And yet we're the Shills. Yet we're the ones being paid, apparently.
Yeah, paid
Tatty.
Shills. Are you glad I'm on your side, or would you rather me be having a go at you lot?
Hold on, what's up?
Yeah, I'm just saying, Tatty, hide banana beer for God's sake.
It's all locked away, man.
Can I ask Slim something, guys?
Yes.
Slim, we had a brief conversation the other night, and you were saying about light-controlled robots. Do you remember?
Yes.
Are these? I'm assuming they're external to you, but what's the go with that? What's your aim with that? I'm really interested to hear what you've got to say about this.
So they're making micro robots that they have a light sensor in the front and in the back. And in the front, they have 2 legs, and in the back, they have 2 legs. So by shining different light patterns on them, they get them to move in different ways. Right now, I don't think there's very much they can do with it, but the more that I was reading, they said that they hopefully will get them to be able to move to a payload, pick up a payload, and then move it somewhere else. I think what they were trying to do is if they could get it to find a cancer cell, that it would be able to grab it and then move it away, which would get the body to be able to push it out of the body. Right now, I think they're just little things that move. I was doing so much research on so many other things that I don't remember off the top of my head.
Are these like nano robots then? That would be internal.
Yeah. They would be injectable, and you could put like 1 billion of them inside of you. Give me 1 second to look up their name because they have a specific name.
That's interesting because I remember years ago I read a book by Michael Crichton, and it was called Swarm, I think, and it was all about nanorobots. About 20 years ago, I remember that. Do you remember that one, Colon? It's a good book.
Yeah, I remember that one a long time ago. But I was just going to remark on that the engineering side on nanorobot technologies, that's actually coming on a pace because I believe Rolls-Royce are looking into actually making a small enough robot to be able to move it into the inside of an engine so it can do repairs without having to take the engine apart. So they'll feed the robots in on the boroscopes and then actually feed them the equipment they need. So some wires if they're going to do some welding action. So they'll be able to position up, hook up the power, and actually do welds and stuff like that while actually internal of the actual engine. So the technology is moving in that direction anyway. So moving it to human biology, I suppose it'd be a small step.
I guess it's inevitable, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We're at the micro level of so this micro robot is smaller than the size of a human hair, each one. This one that I'm going to be speaking about actually moves from water molecules being placed on it, and the water molecules actually bend the legs up and down. So the positive particle of water being put on there, then you put a negative charge next to it, and then it bounces the water off of it. So its little legs move up and down from water being applied to it in negative and positive ways.
What was a bipolar molecule on it?
Well, the Earth's bipolar, so yeah.
What is bipolar? The hydrogen slightly positive and the oxygen atom slightly negative, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Bonds, yeah.
That's going
So
back over fucking many fucking years though.
It's silicone based, and they're able to make it move from water particles. That's one of the micro robots that I've been looking into. The other thing I was looking into that I want to bring up is a thing called MEMS. And what those are is they're micro electromechanical systems. And then what they are is they're actuators and electronic components that are used by the electrical field inside the body, but then also the sensors, like they use them for monitoring glucose in the body. They respond off of natural body parts laying on top of circuitry. So like with this one, they're showing an internal home pregnancy test. So you have this implant that's in your body, and instead of using the strip would be inside of you, and your natural chemicals would be placed on that strip, and it would tell you that information from inside your body instead of being external.
Cool.
So for a pacemaker, they would have these magnetic strips, or these strips that are implanted in the body, and then your micro calibers or something like that attach themselves to the biosensor, and that's how it's taking in the information. So everybody should look up biomemes because that's the wave of the future for implants, is implanting devices that will detect and monitor our body systems, and to be able to be hooked up to a processor for that information, and then a data storage a capable device, and then you'd be able to take these readings and monitor your heart rate, your glucose. They have them in people's eyes to help them see right now.
Well, there's already sorry, go on.
As well as for hearing. So they already have some of these implants, but they're these big, large things that still stick outside the body right now. So they're not fully implanted under the skin.
Yeah, because there's a company in Sweden, isn't there, that they're doing those little chips that so instead of say having an ID card that you would scan to get through a door or whatever, they're putting those little chips, implants into into your hand or your wrist, and and it's just a tiny little thing, and yeah, and it can store whatever you want to put on it, I guess, because it's a microchip. But they use it for sort of like, to gain access to like certain areas within the company, or to log on to certain systems on a computer, and it's all there on these little microchips, So, yeah, I mean,
yeah, just like
that's also you know, and people worry about shit like that, but I think it's awesome. I mean, imagine being able to have everything, and it's safely tucked away somewhere in your body, like on your wrist or in your hand or whatever, and it's got your banking details if you want to put them on there, I mean, download whatever you want on there and use it for whatever you want to use it for. And I think that's really good.
And it would make travel so much easier as well, wouldn't it? You'd just be able to get on an aeroplane by having your wrist scanned or use the underground.
That's right. Yes.
I don't know if you know. There's a brilliant series on Netflix called 3%. If you ever get a chance to watch it, it's a very, very interesting show because, like that, they have implants, they have trackers, and the whole premise of the show is just fucked up and really interesting. But it's like that. It talks about I think the big question for that kind of thing, if you have your bank details on your body, would be hackers or abuse. Now, what Slim was saying was the difference. I think the last time you were talking about the difference between active and inactive, or you had a different word for it.
Passive
chips. And it's just it's an interesting thing to think about. A lot of people, when they hear, as we said on the last one, a lot of people would automatically think that these chips were active. But what you were saying was they're passive chips.
Passive, yeah, and they don't do anything unless they're in the vicinity of a transponder.
So I know for a lot of people that would be the big fear, that they would be used and abused and hacked and whatever, but these things can't really be hacked.
Well, until battery technology gets to the state where it can be nanotechnology, then they're always going to be passive. It's that simple.
And then the other thing that we talked about last time that I'll bring up again is my chips are encoded, so they don't give off any information that I didn't want to give off. My website is, open to any reader. The other thing is, if you have information that is encoded on there, the only way for the reader to read it is if it has the software to read it. So if I take my microchip and put my bank stuff on it, I can't walk up to any reader and have it take that information and be able to use it. The other thing I brought up last time was you have to be millimeters away from my microchip to activate it. There are hackers who have devices that can walk past you while you're walking and take your credit card information off of you. So
yeah, that's very true, actually.
So you can actually steal somebody's information off their credit card easier than stealing it off of my body.
You can even do it with car keys and that now, can't they? As well,
Yeah.
Those keyless cars where you don't
There's
need
cloners.
to actually put a key in. Yeah, exactly. You don't need to actually put a key in and start it anymore. Just like microchips, basically. Yeah. Same thing. So the technology is thing is like any kind of technology like that you can make it as safe as you like, but then there's always thing is these things are designed by people, therefore they can be cracked by people.
Yeah, I mean, it's always worth rehashing that, the idea of passive chips. I want to read out a comment just because it's hilarious. Grain Price in the chat says, only chips I want inside my body are the ones with salt and vinegar on.
Yes. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
What about the ones you put on when you're gambling, the ones you might put on a roulette table? Do you like them sort of chips? I don't mind them.
Don't gamble.
As long as I got a lot of them.
Yeah,
exactly. As long as there's a lot of them coming in my general direction.
Yeah.
As long as you don't make it inside your body.
Well, yeah, that's a bit weird, Tatty. When we were talking about chips you can eat with salt and pepper, yeah, but not chips that you put on roulette table. Don't eat those made with salt and pepper or vinegar or whatever it is you humans do.
So the other thing about the hacking is don't put sensitive information on your microchips if you don't want it to be taken as well. You know, kind of like being on the internet. Don't put your personal information out unless you want it to be taken. So you actually can control what you put on your microchips.
Right, before we do close this session, there is one more topic that I did want to talk about, because there are some of us here that live with children, and for my part anyway, for my part anyway, my niece and nephew went back to school today, and I did want to give a shout out to all the parents who have done phenomenally well dealing with the crisis that we're in, and having the courage to actually send their children back to school, because I know it's a scary time. Aimee, how was that for you? How was that for Matthew?
He's starting a new school this year, and with all of this going on,
I'm gonna meet Miss Steph. If you don't know her, she's my teacher.
She's one of your helpers. Yeah,
she's one of my helpers. That she likes my surfer dude hair a lot.
And Matthew, how did you get on in school today?
He starts on Monday.
Oh, Monday.
Yeah, so
August 31st.
Yep, August 31st, which is
4 days.
Yeah.
Yes, our kids are the 4th. Our kids going back on the 4th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we.
It's
Yeah.
been back 2 weeks.
Oh wow. Yeah, we
I've
start
been dealing with
on
people
the 31st this
actually
month,
in
and then
training.
Sorry, go on, Aimee.
If that's okay. Yeah, thanks. I was just gonna say, yeah, he starts and they're doing a hybrid thing where he goes 2 days a week, and then 3 he's home with me and doing long distance learning. So that's how they're gonna start this session. So
have they done anything to assure you that the class sizes will be smaller, or that social distancing will be followed, or anything?
Yes, because what they're doing is they're splitting everybody in half right now, and that's how they're going to do it. So there are 2 groups. Group A is Monday and Tuesday, which is Matthew. Group B is Thursday and Friday, and then Wednesday is used for deep cleaning and teacher. Yes, and for teacher workshops too. And they're going to be doing cleanings every day. So they're going to be all, and everybody's going to be involved in the cleaning. So
here, what they've done is they've split the class in half like that, and they're bringing them half in the morning, half in the afternoon.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
What does anyone think about? I mean, there's been a bit of in this country, a bit of a thing about whether children should be wearing face masks to school or not, and
without just her face mask, and her she also has a face shield. She will not go to school without either of them. She's very particular about it.
That's fair. That's fair enough, and that's someone's choice if they want to do that. But obviously, they were saying like, there was a bit of a debate, wasn't there, of whether they should force kids to wear face masks to school, and then some saying, they shouldn't, or whatever. And at the moment, currently, children, like certainly in my job, if someone comes in for a haircut, they have to wear a face mask while they do their hair. But obviously, if children don't have to. Which is fine, but like children can still catch it and maybe not even suffer, but pass it on, and it's like it's a tough one, isn't it?
They band together in the playground and so on. So I think it's a good idea that they should have to wear face masks. It's common sense at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree with that, to be honest with you. But people saying, they shouldn't have to, their kids, and it's like, but they can, like as I just said, they can still catch and pass on coronavirus. So surely they should be taking the same protective procedures that us adults, do.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what they did. They're having them wear their masks at school too. They have to. They have to go through a checkpoint to ask questions about, do you have a fever or coughing, all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
but in
So
America, they don't have to have a checkpoint to see if they've got a gun and all that as well.
pretty much, which is also rough too. And it's
Yeah.
so yeah, everything is a panic moment when you send your children to school here in the U.S.
Yeah.
I hat off to
And they
those
should be.
because I mean, me and my ex, we homeschooled our lad for a couple of years because he wasn't doing so well at school, but he's absolutely flying now. But yeah, we homeschooled him for a couple of years, and it was hard work. It was hard work, and to keep yourself focused as well was very, very difficult.
Absolutely, and to make sure that he's learning all that he needs to, and that's what we've been struggling with since March, and to make sure that he gets the interaction that he needs. And it's been an adjustment. It's been quite interesting. So
it's a huge adjustment, Aimee. It really is. It completely turns your day-to-day routine upside down.
Absolutely, it does for both of us.
Here, it's looking likely that we're going to have another lockdown very soon, because the number. Well, there's been massive breakouts here, mainly from the restaurant sector, where I think it was over 200 or over 300 cases in the last 2 weeks. Or 3 weeks have been coming from the restaurant sector. So we're going towards another lockdown, I think.
It's the same here because of the pubs opened and the clubs and everything opened up. And you know what people are like. You go to a pub and there's alcohol involved. And
yeah.
The other problem is if the pubs and clubs aren't open and aren't even... Because pubs and clubs, and Barman will tell you, he's working very, very hard to maintain social distancing. But you know yourself, if they're not going to the pubs, where are they going to go? They're going to go to house parties. And that's what we were seeing over here. That's one of the reasons why the pubs and restaurants had to open, was because they were having these little house parties with like 50, 60, 70 people.
And am I right, Tatty? Sorry, Keelah. Am I right, Tatty, that Scotland are... doing something about because there was a thing in Scotland, wasn't there? All these house parties going on, and Scotland are cracking down on that. Am I correct?
There was a small outbreak in Aberdeen when they put the easements in with the pubs, believe it or not. And in the first weekend, the folks up in Aberdeen just get absolutely rattled and were rolling about with each other. And yeah, so they get themselves an extra 2 weeks of lockdown, which they're actually just coming out of now. There have been one or two isolated outbreaks, but on the whole, I have to say the response from the Scottish Government has been fantastic, and the Scottish NHS has been absolutely fantastic and spot on. When it comes to the kids at schools, as I say, the Scottish kids are back already. When it comes to them, what they put in place is basically any communal area, including the buses to and from school, kids must wear a face mask in the corridor at break times, lunch times, and what have you. You can take it off going to class, and you've got social distancing in the class. They're trying to minimise the movement of the pupils as much as possible through the school. One-way systems in place all the way, and it's mostly the teachers that's moving about now, as opposed to the kids.
Mm-hmm. Well,
It's all been sensible measures, man. It's all been sensible measures. I actually had to laugh the other day because 6 o'clock news, BBC 6 o'clock news started, and they said, yeah, it looks like England's following Scotland for the second time with schools, and I'm thinking, oh, that's not going to go down well.
Well, we've had a question from Jessica G saying, is New Zealand still COVID-free? Me Pet 69 said, I think it still is, but I've actually heard that it isn't.
I thought it wasn't anymore.
12 cases, I believe.
Yeah, they've had some cases there now. Yeah.
And I
the
think
thing is, going back,
Australia is in lockdown as well. Part of Australia is in lockdown.
The thing is, as well, going back to children, trying to, children, especially young children. I mean, trying to really get them to understand what social distancing is, and I mean, it's very difficult, isn't it, for kids, because they want to play. I mean, certainly when I was a kid, I just used to want to fight everyone, like not aggressively, just play fights. But you know, it's it is a tough one.
So it's very difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
Unimpose
Well, what was
primary school?
I heard of one this week, which was basically a group from Hampshire actually went out to, I'm trying to think, one of the Greek islands, and they've come out. It was Zante, that was it. They went to Zante, and 30 of them went to Zante. They've come back, and 11 of them have been tested for COVID.
Well, over here, we've had a number of politicians being forced to resign because the day after they sat on the TV calling people this, that, and the other for not adhering to social distancing, a few of them decided to go to a golf party and sit in a huge room with 80 other people when they themselves decided that the maximum was 50. And of course, this leaked out to the press, and about 7 of them have now resigned. So, yeah.
The thing is as well, like, you know, going back to pubs and restaurants and that, you know, I mean, it is really their responsibility to do it right, because I do go into some pubs and, you know, it's the tables are spread out. It is table service, and you know, and it is very, like, you know, feels very COVID secure, like they're really, you know, making an effort to do the right thing. And then you can go into another pub where there's people at the bar and people, you know what I mean, people, and it's like where no one really seems to give a shit. And again, you know, it's down to the fucking management of that establishment to make sure that, like, these guidelines are followed. And you know, some places really are making an effort, and you can see that. But sometimes I walk into a pub and it's like pre-lockdown, you know. It's just like no one's taking any notice, and no management or staff are trying to enforce any kind of social distancing, you know.
That's how you
And
know it's not a
people, when they've had a
conspiracy.
few drinks, when people have had a few drinks, they do need to be kind of guided a bit, because, you know, shit goes out the window once you've had a few. I mean, trust me, I know. I'm a drunk monkey.
You want to start getting close to people.
Brings up a point in the chat there. He says, let me just scroll back because it just disappeared off the screen. He said, politicians don't need to abide by the rules because they're special. Now, our local MP went to a barbecue during when the lockdown was, when we were really locked down, when there were no cars in the streets, nobody about. He went to a barbecue with 50 or 60 people in it. And he is now known on the island as Sausage.
Right, we're gonna shut this down now, so I'm gonna give the last word to Slim Living Cyborg. So if you got anything else to say and chill your channel, we'll be promoting it in the chat there.
Yes, thank you very much. I had a lot of fun, everybody. Go to my channel and subscribe. If you can stomach the videos, please watch them, like them, and comment so I can get higher up on the YouTube algorithms. If you want and you're on Facebook or Instagram, find me, Slim Living Cyborg. Add me and see more of the fun stuff, and keep up to date on my body modifications. I think that's it for tonight.
Hey, I can do some body modifications, man. Like, anything you want to have a go at, man. I'll try anything.
We're gonna hang out.
Like, whatever you like, you know. I'm there for you, bro.
We're gonna hang out and get drunk, Monk, and we'll definitely do that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It might just end up you need a robotic tail, dude.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, I'm going to close it out for tonight. Thank you all for coming and sitting with us and listening to us have a chat about nothing and everything. Just really quickly before we end, thank you so much to the members and Patreons that actually keep us going and help us fund these shows. We are going to have a full schedule now coming up. We have brand new shows coming out. Very excited for them. Keep an eye. We're going to have shows basically every day, so that we can just keep up with the fun with you guys. So you're not just catching up with us halfway through the week. Coming up in about 2.5 hours, there's the next pub chat with I think, I'm not sure if Dick Dawson's going to be here because he has issues, but coming up with the North Americans and the Canadians. So make sure that you stick around for that or come back for that. And we're going to have a very, very fun weekend. We have the Silly Shills tomorrow night. We have the Silly Shills again on Saturday, and you'll have me again for poker on Sunday because Barman is still busy with the pub. And of course, the Uncalled For then to round off the weekend. So keep an eye on the channel. You know we love you guys. Tatty, take us out.
Good night, everyone.
Problemo.
I'll
Bye.
catch you on the flip side.